take my glove off to set it all up. And now my glove's back on because at 5:30 in the afternoon, July. And we're in the middle of winter, but my gosh, this winter is nothing like last winter. It's amazing. And I found out recently that the dogs are actually in the water. Unbelievable. Found out, I knew that last winter was one of the coldest winters that Northam had ever had, and last summer in Northam was the hottest summer that Northam had ever had. And that was my first year here. I was like, what have I done? What have I done? Because it was the most hardest, harshest, coldest winter, and it was the hardest, hottest, most brutal summer. This summer, just gone, and this winter I'm in now, so it's my second year, it's my second winter in Northern, and I've just done my second summer. And the summer just passed, and the winter I'm in now is what's normal for Northern, and it is perfectly fine. Yes, it is cold, but it is not horrifying. Like last winter, it was miserably cold. It was a really foggy and completely different winter. So that's interesting in itself. And also this time last year was like one of the hardest times of my life, and it was a really hard winter to get through. And I already have seasonal deficiency disorder where I can't handle grey skies, and I've got arthritis in my body, and I can't, coldness really hurts me. So this year round it's just easier all round, just because the winter's not so full on. But more so than that, everyone, it's not just that. Because as I said a few days ago, I had 3 or 4 days of the deepest of sorrow. I was so broken in my sorrow that I reached out to friends, because I was like, I cannot do this alone. And I don't need to do this alone, because I had this great community of support, and not just communicating the processes of what I'm going through on YouTube, which doesn't just help myself, but it helps others. The process of knowing, I just realised I think my shirt's on inside out, but that doesn't matter. My jumper, I mean. Basically, the friends and the community that I have, that I've created in Northam, it's just amazing. And one of the reasons why my community that I have in Northam is so incredible is because last year, my first winter here, when I was in a very high-risk, unalivened situation and didn't know anyone, I'd moved here in November 2021, so I'd only been here for November, December, January, February, March, April, when everything started, to 6 months or so. I didn't really know very many people at all, and everyone was a new friendship. Well, by July, August, this time last year, relatively new friendships, and they went to the most authentic, deepest, realist way of being that they could ever be. And only the really, so this is no judgment on the people that couldn't stick it out, because it's fantastic for everyone to know their limits and boundaries. At the beginning of this journey last year, a lot of people gave me their numbers and up here in Northam and professed that they wanted to be there. I could ring them whenever I wanted, this and that, rah, rah. I was being very careful about who I reached out to, who I let know what was going on. And in that process of still being careful, there were, and the way I worded things, there were still so many people when I reached out to them who didn't actually answer back at all. So then my response to that, of course, is to realise they don't really want to be part of this trauma journey, and that is their prerogative, and I'm so glad I know. There were others that responded and have been there and have continued to be there, and not only did they respond and really come into my support network, they actually also keep checking up on me, and they know I've got it. They know that I'm resilient and strong, and know that God's protection is all. The people who are in my support network know that I am completely got it on my own back. They just want me to really know that they are there for me, and that I'm not alone. And they remind me, they check up on me in nice ways, in loving, kind, gentle ways, knowing that I've got it, knowing that's my strength. So this time last year, we were at a different river. We're on the other side of Northern, and I had just one dog. This year, we're on this side of the river, and I've got 2 dogs. Where'd Alvin go? Alvin, can you see him? Alviny. And I was almost going to go to the other side of the river today, and I didn't because I thought, I just felt drawn to come to Burloin. And it's really amazing because on my way here, there was 3 cars on the side of the road, and one of them had fallen into a big ditch, and I was able to push the car that was in a big ditch. I was able to push out with my ute, and amazingly enough, I had a mattress in the back of the car. So, because I just bought these 2 foam mattresses, which I'm going to put in the back of the car as my part to turn the ute into a camping vehicle. The old divan, those of us in Australia know it well. There used to be 2 foam thin mattresses that sat on top of each other, and that was either the guest bed or the couch. So it's really old school. Got it from my op shop. Basically, I had that in the back of my car, so we're able to put that in front of my car because I've got spotties, and between my car and the other car, and I was able to push them out of the ditch, and I was able to do it in such a way that I didn't fall into the ditch. And if I hadn't have come to this side of the river, I wouldn't have been able to help those people out. So God really directed me to come this side. And I like this side of the river because I have more access to the water. The other side of the river, I don't go so... We do more of the walking track, the field where there's, lots of rabbits, or I think they're hares, and kangaroos and stuff, but it's not so close to the water. The water's on the other side of a fence. I know it's there, but here we're right near it. So this one I quite prefer because the water's so close. But because the water's up higher, we can't walk along the riverbank. And because I got here so late today, it's just a quick walk because it's almost night time. The reason why I'm so late is because the lady I do op shop duty for on Friday, she said to me and the other man that is her volunteer, should we open tomorrow, that being Saturday? And we said, yeah, let's do it. So the reason why we said let's do a second day this weekend was because we've got dry weather. Whereas last week and the week before, we'll pull, because it's an open air op shop, so we pull everything out and then pull it back. And we did that 3 times in one day. It gets a bit tiring. And we had 3 or 4 days of not knowing if it was going to rain on us. But today we knew it was going to be sunny all day. So we did a lot of organising. And so we really committed. But as a result, I didn't get more stuff done at home, and the dogs didn't get their morning Saturday walk. And we did go a bit later today at the op shop than I thought we would. So the walk had to be, not a super long walk, and closer to night. Anyways, that's explaining where I am, what I'm doing. Zena, Alvin. And the cycles, everyone. The cycles. So this time last year, I was walking the other side of the river just with Alvin, my big dog. Alvin, Zena. There's a car over there. Someone's pulled up. Basically, this year, hello, darling. I'm walking the Burloin side with 2 dogs. Come on, Alvin. Come on. We're a little bit restricted because of how high the river is, but that's still fine. The dogs can still have fun. Anyways, everyone, wow. There's so much I can't. It's energy is an interesting thing to share because I can feel a shift in my body. I don't know if you can see it in my eyes and hear it in my voice. It's like there's a perkiness there, a perkiness. And I am perky. I'm perky and quirky, all right? That's actually a part of who I am. And I sort of lost her there for a while, and I knew I'd get her back eventually. But I was like, just had this density. I had this sort of aching heaviness, sort of an ongoing, just an insane ache that was clenching at my heart, and very, very, I'm just going to have to use the word heavy, very heavy, sad, loss, grieving energy, And it's like the adage, just like the clouds have lifted. And it's actually exactly like that. Like the clouds have lifted, like a weight has been lifted from my body, from my heart. Actually, that saying is so apt for how I feel right now. I feel lighter and brighter. And I just looked at Facebook, showed me a memory of this time last year, and I'm just so dense and low and sad and broken and heavy. So exactly 1 year later, I would actually say I'm the opposite. And there's something I want to share about that. I'm actually at a place, and this is an authentic statement. I know this might come as a bit of a shock, and it might seem like maybe I'm just pretending to myself. So I was just really checking I was really checking before, like, do I want to share this information? Does it feel true? And there is a part of me that obviously has a pang of pain to say this out loud. She just got me with her wet tail. However, in all honesty, Gentle, I want to say that I have seriously gotten to a place in my life, in my space, in my head space, in my heart space, where this life I'm living, me, Zena, she's now 8 months old. She's going to get bigger, more beautiful, more well behaved. She's so beautifully behaved already. 8 months old, she's coming along so perfectly. Training dogs is a massive effort. Got Alvin there, who's 18 months. He's definitely becoming a very masterful young adult. He's in his late teens now. Little Xena Beaner, is probably equivalent to a 7-year-old or something. And don't you dare. And I think she really wanted to shake on me, but don't you dare. No, she's not going to. Good. No. She is wet. The personalities of these two dogs is just astounding. And I also know that a large part of how they are is because of how they're trained and how I am with them and the life they have. And yeah, I just feel really blessed. Like, these are my beautiful fur children, my little beautiful fur creatures. And they are really, there she is. I have shared with you all in many YouTube lives before that, it's been a struggle with these animals to feed them and to, not being able to just go away and go dancing or go and spend time with friends or just to leave and run from a torturous experience that I was going through. So they forced me I was trapped, basically. You want to use a negative word? I was trapped. You want to use the positive word? I was grounded. These two dogs really grounded me. I had a massive responsibility to keep on keeping on going because they're my dependents. And as I shared a while ago, in hindsight, they are, because I was forced by God to be grounded. I mean, obviously I could have given the dogs away. I could have run away. I could have gone against God's will. I could have betrayed these animals. I could have just fostered or adopted them out easily, like many people would have taken these beautiful dogs on. For the rest of my life, I would have been in agony over what I'd done. So obviously there was no choice, but someone says to me, but Nadina, there's plenty of people that would have left them alone. There's plenty of people that would have found, if you're struggling to feed your animals, there are so many people that will actually give up on the animals. So I will take that on board. Yes, Nadina, very committed to my dogs. They grounded me. They got me through a very difficult time. I felt very restricted because of having them, but I've always felt very grateful. And my life with my two dogs and my cat, and my op shop duty on Fridays and sometimes Saturdays. I've got this new job, this really fantastic gardening job. I've got the best group of friends. I'm getting quite physically fit and strong and healthy again. I'm getting my flexibility and my strength back. My body was becoming crippled through. I had a lot going on in my life that was. I put in a lot of pressure and stress on myself that was showing itself as becoming crippled. So, and I was in excruciating physical pain with my knees, my wrists, and my back, and you name it, blah blah blah. So many of these injuries are all healing because I've allowed the stress out of my life. Now, I will say, my life as is great. It's fine. I'm completely comfortable with it as is. So, as a lot of you know, I'm married, and my husband is not by my side on a physical level. And for months now, months and months and months, I've gone through a full gamut of emotions around the reality of that. So to get to the point, to be able to say that for myself, beautiful Nadina, and I do call myself Nadina McLeod. That's what I call myself everywhere I go. That's how I write things down. That's where the forms are filled out, rah, rah. And I also am Nadina Natali. And that's one of the really strange things about women when we take, not in France. In France, the men take on the women's names. Or the men and the women either don't change names, or the family takes on the female surname. In Australia and America, and I think England, the female generally takes on the male surname. So, women have this thing where we have these different, like when you change your surname, it's quite interesting. Like it's a different side. I'm not gonna say it's a different personality, but it's different. Okay, it's just like, and oh my gosh, like paperwork. Ugh. I'm in a process right now with my gardening job, getting my new updated police clearance, and because I've got two surnames, it's different now. So I've always had my own business. I've had my own business for so long that I actually haven't had to provide police clearances for a very long time. That last time I provided police clearance was when I was doing aged care work in a facility. You have to do it every 3 months. But since then, I've just been doing private home and community care work. And a lot of the companies that I've worked for, working for private families, they don't. No, some of the private jobs have required the police clearance. Anyways, this is the first time since I've gotten married that I've had to get a police clearance. So the two surname thing has made it taking a little bit longer. And this is the trick of getting different surnames. Anyways, the point of the story is, I'm not going to use surnames right now. Nadina. This beautiful, gorgeous vessel, Nadina Daisy Talbot, this being on planet Earth in 2023, here right now on the 15th of July, 2023 at 5:30 in the afternoon by the Avon River with my... Zena! Sorry. Oh, they're way too close to the train track. Sorry, come on. Quick. Come on. Quick. Sorry, on the other side of that fence line, there's a train track. Come on, hurry up. I'm glad I noticed that. Quick. Alvin, hurry up. That's one of the reasons why I don't quite like walking. Come on, hurry up, thank you. Yeah, I notice that when I go, Zena! Oh, for goodness sakes. Come on. Yeah, I just noticed if you go too close to up there, sometimes there might be rabbits in that long grass. I don't know. But directly next to that long grass is a train track. Come on, you two. Oh, this walk today has been a little bit limited because the ground's really boggy. Yeah. Oh, Alvin! That was rude. Sorry you had to see it. Come here. That was rude. Look at what he just did. That was rude. You hurt me. Sorry you had to see that. That was rude. He's looking at me like, sorry. Like, yeah, well, bloody hell, mate, slow down. But I did tell you he's 18 months old. Sometimes I don't think he knows his own weight still. They're both so very, very young still. Anyway, that's the first time he's done that in a really long time. And I think it's because we've walked back and forth on this track 3 times now because there's a car up there and we can't go too far up the river. And usually what we do is we just keep walking forwards and we just go for an hour. But here we're going back and forth on the same track. I don't know why I did that. I'm not going to try to explain it. But back to the topic. I finally, for the first time in a really long time, feel like I'm me again. Woohoo! Yeah! It's exciting. Oh, I'm pretty sure the reason why this happened is because, as I said to you a couple of days ago, or whatever it was, my friend said to me, go into your deep sorrow. The true healing at the other end. You don't need to justify the sorrow. Yeah, my neighbour called it godly sorrow, pure sorrow, because what I shared in a couple of videos before, and this is such a valid point, everyone. It's such a valid point. I always felt like I had to justify how long I was in sorrow for, how I was working it out, like I was overanalyzing. As I was being in the sorrow space, I was constantly working out skill sets of how to work through, using all my counselling skill sets, or the psychology knowledge I have, all the knowledge I've been learning over my lifetime, utilising that whilst in the sorrow. So analysing it, being the observer, like trying to, make sure I get the biggest learning out of the sorrow, make sure I can get through the sorrow without going too deep, too dark, too heavy, too this, too that, whatever. I shared this, I don't know if it was my last YouTube or the one before that or the one before that, but I kept saying to you, I was like, it's almost like I had to make sure I wasn't falling into a space of despair or moroseness, depression. I've really been mindful, do not fall into depression. So being mindful of not falling deep into the sorrow. I was always mindful of don't cry for too long. Okay, you've been crying now non-stop for the last blah, blah, blah. You need to stop it. You need to somehow, and there is a point there where, yes, you got to rein it in. If the sorrow is about berating oneself or feeling miserable about one's situation, and what I mean by this is if you're going, woe be me, doing the pity story, woe be me, oh, blah, 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 my life is so hard, everyone's treating me so blah, 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 blame, blah, blah. When someone's playing the victim type crap, that type of sorrow is not healthy because it's not genuine sorrow, it's not pure sorrow. That's someone just having a self-pity party. And that's very, 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 very different. And the way I'd like to explain it, if it's helpful, is some people might go, oh, I'm struggling financially. Oh, my heart is breaking. All these horrible people have done all these horrible things to me. No one's giving me a chance. I can't get work because blah, 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 blah. And they're being outwardly, they're making out that everything that's happening to them is because of something that someone else has done to them or because of external circumstances, and they're feeling weak and unempowered and unable to change their environment, or to they don't realise that they are the only one that can make their life work. They are the only one that can heal the situation. They also don't realise that they need to reach out and get support in order to be empowered. It's the working as a community, working with your support team, being vulnerable, not being in isolation. These are the keys to stepping out of that self-woe, pity me type, let's call it despair. Because the difference between despair and sorrow is a huge distinction. So despair is when someone's given up, feels no power, feels no ability to actively change anything, doing the blame game, the guilt-tripping game, of others and of themselves. They might be seriously putting themselves down. Seriously, the self-talk might be just absolutely despicable. Like their worst enemy in their world is themselves to themselves and the way they're speaking. Now that type of crying, that type of despair work, everyone, we've discussed this many times over, that is not healthy at all. That is destructive. that leads to serious depression, that leads to serious mental breakdowns in the negative, like psychosis plus. It leads to disempowerment, it leads to looping, it leads to blah, blah, blah. So we're not talking about that. And I have discussed this many times over, so many times. But in the future, we'll bring it in, like in my future books, in my future montage of previous videos. We'll bring all the snippets of all the different topics to get the good comparisons, the clear comparisons, and make it simpler than that way. Now, the sorrow that I've been working through is called healthy sorrow, pure sorrow. Pure sorrow is sorrow for the sake of sorrow. Sorrow for the sake of sorrow, godly sorrow. So in all of my sorrow, I felt self-worth, self-love. I felt God's love. I felt protected by God. I felt like all was perfect. I knew everything was perfect. I knew life was I knew that God had my back. I knew everything was, I can't say the word perfect enough. It was all godly, divine, and I had nothing to fear. I was not in a place of fear. Despair is from a place of fear. Sorrow is from a place of love. My body and my mind and my heart, the sorrow, the grief, the loss of what, loss of expectations, loss of desired dreams, loss of blah, blah, blah. Like a classic example, which is what I discussed in my video yesterday that I think I've uploaded. I've got a lot of videos I haven't uploaded. I've got some YouTube lives that I haven't put as public, so I don't even know what I've done, because to manage a YouTube site is just a lot of work, everyone. You've got to put at least probably 4 hours a day to manage a YouTube channel, and and I don't have the energy for that right now. I need to do too many other things are more important, which is why I've said to you over and over again, it's an amateur site at the moment, because all these professional YouTubers, they have usually a team of 30 people helping them out. I'm not anywhere near that, and I don't profess to be that, and God keeps telling me to keep on going with my YouTube channel, and it's just what it is, all right? It's just what it is, just like I am what I am, okay? And that's what this YouTube channel's been about from the beginning. And I'll tell you something, I know I've just done a little segue, but this all ties in. I watched this amazing article yesterday, and this lady who I've been following for a really long time, she's absolutely amazing. She decided to disclose to us yesterday that she started her YouTube channel 4 years ago when her divorce proceedings started. And then all these people started talking about their divorces, and she was talking about how, the custody of the children and this and that, rah. And all these comments were about people's divorces, people's custody things, and she said, I just started it because I needed to, I'll use my own words, these are not her words, okay, sorry, but they're very similar, but she basically started it as part of the process of making sense of and healing her experience of what she was going through. And when I first started my YouTube channel, God said, tell the world, and it wasn't YouTube initially, it was Facebook. I was doing Facebook Lives, and then I started my YouTube channel, because I thought, oh well, might as well move it on to turn it into the beginning of my therapy business. So what a good start. YouTube channel is the beginning of creating my online therapy business, which is eventually going to be the professional, legit type professional business. So why not get the practice of public speaking so it's all part of the process of me making my dream real. And I thought, who knows? Oh, and I was also inspired by a counsellor saying, you need to go on YouTube, because I was just on, that's right, sorry. God said, tell the world. So what was it, June 2022? God said, tell the world. So I started doing my my Facebook Lives. Then a human said to me, who was watching my Facebooks and using my Facebook Lives as for her clientele. She was using my Facebook Lives with my permission for her customers, the customers that she counsels. And she said, Nadina, what you've got to share to the world will change the world. You need to get out more. You need to get your voice out to the bigger world, because you are part of the change, and your YouTube will go viral. Which I was scared of when she said that, to tell you the truth. and it was really shocking, because in the first week of going to YouTube, one of my videos got 4,000 views, and I was like, oh no, freak out. I started freaking out. No, help me. I remember I was putting videos up and they're getting like 485 views in like less than a day. I'm going, freak out. And I stopped my YouTube. I couldn't handle it. I was like, this is too much. I can't cope with this. And then God's going, no, keep on going out there. And then I went through all the paranoia and the fear of it's not professional enough. I'm not clear enough. I'm not this. Blah, 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 blah. So I've had to work through a lot of narratives like that. So that narrative, everyone, of that despairing narrative, you'll hear a lot of that in the beginning of my YouTube and my Facebook lives. And that's what a lot of these YouTubers who started out, they all said they just started out with a phone. I just started out because I was in this process of blah, 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 blah. They all started out like I am. And some of these, not all of them, some of them, and some of these people, and that's not necessarily where I want to be or go, but some of these people have got humongous followings. However, in saying that, a lot of them share as well. If you want to have a YouTube channel, be aware, you've got to keep your shorts up, because if you don't do your shorts, YouTube just knocks you out. It doesn't matter. There's one person who had millions of viewers, millions of followers, and YouTube knocked him out because he wasn't doing any shorts. And the guy said, well, I'm not going to force myself to do shorts just to stay on YouTube. So he changed platform and went to another platform. And I just went, oh, stuff it. All right, fine. Got to do some shorts every now and again, so be it. But it takes time. Shorts take time. That's what I mean. It's an admin thing. So is YouTube doing that deliberately just to make us spend more time on YouTube? Probably. Whatever. Anyways, that aside, if you look at my first Facebook lives and my first YouTube lives, you'll see that I was speaking from a place of despair, and you'll see that I have transcended from being in a place of real struggling, confused inner self-talk, like at times quite disparaging internal narratives that were really damaging. And I had to really look at and go deep into all of who I am. I went deep into my shadow. I went as deep as anyone can go into their shadow, because I was like, gonna face everything that God has given me the opportunity to face. I've been given this most marvelous opportunity to delve deep into all of my inner child, all of my inner wounding, all of my deep shadow work, because there's nothing else to do except for to heal, because I can't cope. I'm not coping. I can barely breathe. I can barely eat. Sometimes I go days where I couldn't change my clothes. I'd go days where I couldn't eat. Like I was barely surviving. I really was not I was not surviving at all, except for I had to keep going for my beautiful dogs. And when I first started, I had one dog and one cat. I managed to make that. I survived that. I got stronger. Not strong enough. Still didn't learn the lessons of self-love, self-respect, self-honor. So, had to go deeper into the self-learning. Deeper. Alvin, Zena. It's almost nighttime here. I know in the camera it looks like it's really light, and it's a trick of camera footage. I don't know why, because it's actually almost dark. It's almost dark, but what's happening is the camera's grabbing the last bit of light that it can, and it's making me shine. Come on. And I've got gloves on, but my fingers have gone cold. Anyways, the point of the story, come on. Zena, Alvin, quick. Come on. I don't really like doing YouTubes at dusk with the dogs, because in case I chase a kangaroo, like I lost. Come on, Alvin, come on, quick. Oh, for goodness sakes. Come on, hurry up. Zena. Oh, they've gone and done that. Oh, yeah. Good. Well done. Where's Zena? Quick. Zena. Quick. Come on, Alvin. Where's Zena Bina? Hang on a second. Zena. Quick. Come on. Thank you. Quick. There she is. Hurry up. Quick. Oh, tell you what. Come on. Thank you. Woohoo. Yeah. Woohoo. There they are. That's safe. So basically, yeah, this process of deep sorrow, going to that pure sorrow, which I did that YouTubey thing on. My good Lord, not everyone, but some people said to me, My neighbour said it to me, and my really good friend, my good neighbour Anita said to me, and my beautiful friend Desiree said to me, this process of deep sorrow, it's the other end. It's the end of succumbing, deeply succumbing in pure humility. Just, it's deep, it's pure sorrow, godly sorrow is what my neighbour called it. Pure sorrow, godly sorrow. And when she gave me that terminology, I went, I can fall deep into the sorrow. I don't have to feel guilty that I've gone to the devil. I don't have to feel guilty that I've given up on, that I'm disrespecting God. It's okay. Godly sorrow, godly sorrow. They were the words I needed to hear. And that night when my neighbour gave me those words, I was so close to going down to a really scary, not healthy. I was heading down to that unenlivened mentality. And that's why I reached out to people, because I could tell that I was heading to despair and, depression and darkness, real darkness. I was just too broken, just too heavily broken. And the reason why, come on, Zena Alvin, the reason why I got to that space, as I shared with you in one of my videos, which I may or may not have shared, because I've lost track of what I've shared and what I haven't, but basically it was because of the acceptance of all these various elements of what's happening in my life and how it's happened and blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to be really quick because, come on, Zena, Alvin. I'm trying to be super quick because I want to get to the car before it gets too dark. Anyways, basically, what happened was I really allowed myself to go into that deep, pure sorrow, and it just went on and on for days. It just went on and on and on for days. And I was like, okay, well, I've surrendered. I'm surrendering to this process. I trust that there's going to be another side. I'm going to get out of it. And this is it. This is it. I did it. And you can't make up healing. Healing only happens through doing the hard work. Come on. I can tell you that deep sorrow work was really dragging me. I was like, I remember saying to God, God, really? Come on, enough of this. I just want my life to be a life. Like, I just want to be happy again. I just want to do creative. I just don't want to be always having to be focused on survival and how to get through the day emotionally. I just want my beautiful Nadina back. That beautiful, perky, chirpy, quirky, beautiful one. I want her back. So I've got her back, but at a different level. So what's happened is she's matured. So gorgeous little Nadina. I can tell you what, I've got some really clear, firm boundaries now. And this is how clear my boundaries are. Oh, my self-love, my self-honor, next level. Yeah. Never again will I ever dishonor myself or self-betray myself or allow a situation to continue that is just because I'm too scared of losing someone. Never again I'm going to tiptoe around someone or, try to people please if it's at the detriment to myself, because that only is a detriment to the relationship and to the dynamic and to the world. That serves no one. No one. That's what you call toxic empathy. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So beautiful. So peaceful here. So yeah, my life. Me. Good old beautiful Northern. My beautiful dogs. My beautiful, beautiful dogs. I love them with my heart and soul. My beautiful fluffball Ollie Bolly, my cat. He's such a beautiful cat, and he loves being correct. He's such an affectionate cat, but he's also really independent. And just like thanking God so much for this reality. Like, well, look at where God's brought me. This is my reality. I'm here physically right now. And I can tell you right now, I often walk my dog, not often, but there are times when I walk my dogs when I don't want to walk them. Like, I'd rather be home, in front of whatever. But I actually walk my dogs a lot because they deserve that. And it grounds me. It gives me all that time I've got to unlock the car. It gives me all that time to, pardon me. Well, I love nature. Walking my dogs puts me out in nature much more so than if I didn't have the dogs. Okay, let's just put it that way. And a lot of us with animals. So I've got big animals, big dogs. Wait, they're wet. Okay, in you get. Quick. Hurry up. In you get. Oh, it's quite cold. I'm going to put, don't worry, I'm not going to chat in the car a long time like I did last time. But, ouch. Let me just get that towel. I have to cover the towel. Oh, yeah, it was so cool being able to help those people out. That's why the towel's not in the seat, because put it in front of the light so the light wouldn't get broken. So now, guys, we're in the car and it's almost, I'll just wind the window down. Now that we're in the safety of the car, look at that. Almost night time. It is beautiful, isn't it? So, yeah, this topic will be continued because I can feel something in me that I have not felt for a very long time, okay? And I feel such a genuine, I'm going to have to use the word contentment. I want to use the word peace as well. I try not to sound too glib, but those things like, a weight is off my shoulders. A weight has been taken off my shoulders. I realise these adages they're there for a reason. I realise that they're there for a reason because they're tried and true and tested, and they make sense. Yeah, a weight has been lifted off my heart, out of my head, off my shoulders. The grey scars have lifted out of my head. The fog's gone out of my head. Like, my head is clear. My heart is really not hurting. It doesn't have that horrible, clenchy, disgusting, like I'm going to just collapse from the lack of, oh, good Lord. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but that pain in my heart was just excruciating and actually almost scary, because there was times I felt like I couldn't breathe. Mentally, I was just like, so, now I'm not going to say that I'm free from my deep sorrows or free from melancholy days, because on a 3D level, there are aspects of my life that just break my heart. They do break my heart. But I've gone to a level of transcendence with, I don't know how to word it. Yeah, sometimes words just don't do justice to an experience. And that's why this YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure that's why God wants me to do this YouTube channel, because I know a lot of us don't know how to word it, so we don't bother trying to word it. Some people write books and you can sort of make some sense of what they're writing, but really, and my journey is here to help heal the world. It always has been. I've known that since I was really little. And if this YouTube channel helps one person, so the message from today, that place of pure sorrow, as I got told by my friend Desiree and my beautiful neighbour Anita, who came up with the terminology pure sorrow, godly sorrow, and that she said, your sorrow is fine, you don't need to justify it, go into it, take as long as you need, rah. And my other friend was like, when you go through your deep pure sorrow, you will get healing at the other end. So, but I realized the distinction between falling into deep sadness and deep despair, if you fall into deep despair and deep sadness, and there's a part of you that's feeling like a victim in that, or like you can't see any way out, that I think is sort of like crying, almost in the sense of fear, like you're feeling trapped, or you're feeling an anguish, like a sort of a terror, like there's a terror within that despair. The pure sorrow, the deep, pure, godly sorrow is different. It's just going, wow, this experience is so sad. Wow, this experience of being a human on planet Earth is so sad. And in God's grace and your love, God, I accept that this is an experience I need to go through. Thank you. I love you. I know. Yeah. Just pure sort of faith, like pure sort of abandonment. Now, what word can I use? It really is the humility of the pure surrender and the pure abandonment. And those words might not mean much to you, but what it means is the full deep dive, the full free fall, like the falling into the deep sorrow without trying to understand it, without trying to justify it, without trying to give it meaning, put boundaries in place, give it a time frame, blah, 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 blah. I hope this is making sense, because it's the free fall with no abseil ropes on, no safety net. It's that free fall into the deep sorrow, the pure sorrow, knowing that the deep pure sorrow is a cocoon. It's a chrysalis. It's like a butterfly. It's like the cocoon of the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. So there's an abyss. You deep dive, deep fall into the deep pure sorrow, not knowing there's no boundaries, there's no safety net, there's no, you don't know when the end of it's there. We don't have to even try to visualize the end of coming up. What we know is that we're in full faith, in full trust. We just know that God is protecting us, and that God, when we get to the other end, we will be healed. But we don't do the deep sorrow to become healed. We just fall into the deep sorrow just for sorrow's sake, just to be in that deep pure sorrow. No, don't know if those words are making sense. When my neighbour explained it to me initially, it made complete sense, and it transformed me. When I then continued that discussion with other friends, it got deepened and made more sense, and now that's why I'm at the other end. So anyways, I'll leave it at that. I don't know if you can see me. I don't think you can. Mwah! Love you. God bless. And do the deep pure sorrow. Fall into that deep pure sorrow. Trust me, it's through that process of deep pure sorrow that the healing really does occur, because it's that polarity of the human experience. Like having, when we're godly children in a human body on a 3D human planet, it's actually an excruciating experience. So being human on planet Earth actually has a lot of physical, mental, and emotional pain. It's very difficult being an awakened child of God, and to be a person who is in heart stance and who is a person of love and light. It is very, very excruciating to be in a 3D form on planet Earth. That's the deep sorrow, peoples. And you have your pain, you let that swim through it. Swim, you won't drown. Beautifully swim with the deep sorrow. Do the deep dive. Succumb, but just remember the deep sorrow is from a place of love. There's no fear. So if the fear creeps in, then we can call it despair. But the deep pure sorrow is from a place of love for us, love for God, love for life, and pure faith and trust that the process of sorrow is the polarity of being a fully awakened godly being in living God's calling and stepping up into it's that journey that's required. Jesus had to go through it as well. It's what God requires of us it's another part of our training, everybody's. And then we get to the other end where we get stronger and stronger and more closer to being all that God really has divine for us. And then we can really start hearing what God really has to say, because our heart's more open. So we can start hearing the messages more. And as I shared with you in one of my videos, one of my messages is I really need to truly, really open my heart to pure forgiveness and pure, I'm just going to use the word forgiveness, because forgiveness involves releasing resentment. Pure forgiveness. That's what I am working on, is pure forgiveness. And it's through the process of pure sorrow that I can get to that place of pure forgiveness. And then the process of pure forgiveness allows pure love. Yeehaw! Mwah! Love you. Bye. Keep well. God bless.